They were the faces of our childhoods, the ones who seemed to exist in a permanent state of youth, frozen in time through the glow of television screens and movie theaters. We laughed with them, cried with them, and watched them grow up in front of us, never stopping to imagine that their stories could end so abruptly. Fame came early for these young stars, often before they had the chance to understand what it truly meant. And while the world saw success, applause, and bright futures, life behind the scenes was often far more complicated, unpredictable, and fragile than anyone realized. The truth is, we never really know how much time anyone has. As one grieving voice once said, we were texting that night, somewhere between the last message and the morning, he was gone. It sounds unreal until it isn't. Today, we remember not just the tragedies, but the brilliance, the joy, and the unforgettable legacies of some of the most famous child actors who left this world far too soon. Corey Haim's story begins far from the flashing lights of Hollywood, in Toronto, Canada, where he was born in 1971. Acting wasn't initially a dream fueled by ambition or fame. It was something much simpler, almost innocent. His mother enrolled him in acting classes to help him overcome shyness, to give him confidence in expressing himself. What no one expected was just how naturally it would come to him. From the very beginning, Corey had something special, a warmth, a charm, and a vulnerability that translated effortlessly onto the screen. Audiences didn't just watch him, they connected with him. By the age of 12, he had already landed a role in the television series The Edison Twins, and it became clear that this wasn't just a phase. This was the beginning of something much bigger. His early film roles revealed a depth that felt almost beyond his years. In Silver Bullet, he delivered a performance filled with tenderness and emotional weight, proving that he wasn't just another child actor playing a role, he was embodying it. Then came A Time to Live, which earned him a Young Artist Award and solidified his reputation as a rising talent. But it was Lucas that truly changed everything. The film captured the awkward, heartfelt experience of adolescence, and Corey's portrayal resonated deeply with audiences. Suddenly, he wasn't just a promising actor, he was a star. And when The Lost Boys followed, he became unforgettable. That mischievous grin, that effortless charisma, it defined an era of teen cinema. But fame, especially at such a young age, comes with a cost. Behind the scenes, the pressure to maintain that image, to stay relevant, to keep delivering, began to take its toll. As the 1990s arrived, the roles that once came so easily started to slow down. The industry moved on, as it often does, and the spotlight that once felt so warm became colder. For Corey, this shift was more than just a career challenge, it was deeply personal. Addiction crept into his life, slowly at first, then relentlessly. He later admitted, with painful honesty, that he struggled with addiction to almost everything. It wasn't a single battle, it was a constant war. There were moments of hope, moments where it seemed like he might overcome it all. He fought hard, entering recovery, relapsing, trying again. By 2010, there were signs of a comeback. 10 projects were reportedly lined up, and for the first time in years, it felt like Corey Haim might reclaim the career that once seemed limitless. But life had other plans. On March 10, 2010, Corey died from complications related to pneumonia. He was just 38 years old. A life filled with promise, struggle, and undeniable talent was gone, leaving behind a legacy that still resonates with those who grew up watching him. Judith Barsi's story is one of the most heartbreaking in Hollywood history, not because of what happened on screen, but because of what was happening behind closed doors. Born in 1978, Judith was discovered at just 5 years old while ice skating. There was something about her, an undeniable spark that drew people in. It didn't take long for that spark to turn into opportunity. Commercials came first, dozens of them, and then television roles, followed by films. Her voice, in particular, carried a warmth and innocence that made audiences fall in love instantly. She became widely known for her roles in The Land Before Time and All Dogs Go to Heaven, where her performances brought emotional depth to animated characters that still move audiences today. To the world, Judith was a rising star, a young girl living a dream that many could only imagine. But at home, her reality was far darker. Her father struggled with alcoholism and violent tendencies, creating an environment filled with fear and instability. Judith tried to hide the truth, but the stress began to show in heartbreaking ways. She would pull out her own eyelashes and confide in friends that she was terrified to go home. Authorities were alerted multiple times, and there were attempts to intervene. Her mother, Maria, recognized the danger and began making plans to leave. She even rented an apartment, hoping to escape and start a safer life for both of them. But before they could make that final move, tragedy struck. On July 25, 1988, Judith's father murdered both her and her mother before taking his own life. Judith was only 10 years old. Her story is a painful reminder that sometimes the brightest smiles can hide the deepest fears, and that not all tragedies are visible from the outside. Lucille Rickson's story takes us back to the early days of Hollywood, a time when the industry was still finding its identity and child actors were often pushed beyond their limits. Born in 1910 in Chicago, Lucille entered the entertainment world as a child model before transitioning to film at an incredibly young age. After her parents separated, her mother brought her to Hollywood, where she quickly caught the attention of powerful studio executives. By the age of 10, she was already being cast in leading roles, her age often exaggerated to make her seem older. She had a natural poise and beauty that made her stand out, but behind that polished image was a child carrying the weight of adult expectations. Studios demanded long hours, constant work, and an unrelenting schedule. At just 13, she was starring in multiple films, sometimes completing as many as 10 projects in a single year. The physical and emotional toll was immense. Eventually, her body began to give in. She was diagnosed with tuberculosis, a serious and often deadly illness at the time. Her mother stayed by her side, but the stress of the situation proved overwhelming, leading to her mother's sudden death from a heart attack. Just 2 weeks later, Lucille herself passed away at the age of 14. In one of her final moments, she reportedly said, "Mother wouldn't want me to die. I won't." But the disease was relentless. Her final film premiered shortly after her death, serving as a haunting reminder of a life that never had the chance to fully unfold. Lee Thompson Young brought a different kind of presence to the screen, one defined by sincerity, warmth, and a quiet strength that resonated deeply with audiences. Born in 1984 in South Carolina, he discovered acting at a young age and quickly pursued it with determination. By the time he was a teenager, he had landed the lead role in the famous Jet Jackson, a Disney Channel series that became a defining part of many childhoods. His portrayal of a teenage secret agent balancing ordinary life with extraordinary missions made him instantly relatable and widely admired. As he grew older, Lee transitioned into more mature roles, proving that his talent extended far beyond his early success. He appeared in shows like Friday Night Lights, Scrubs, and Rizzoli and Isles, where he played Detective Barry Frost. On set, he was known as dependable, thoughtful, and deeply committed to his craft. But beneath that calm and composed exterior, he was facing personal struggles that few people fully understood. In August 2013, when he failed to show up for work, concern quickly grew. Authorities were sent to his home, where they discovered that he had taken his own life. He was just 29 years old. The news sent shockwaves through the industry and among fans who had grown up watching him. Those who knew him described him as kind, intelligent, and gentle, a person who brought light into the lives of others even while battling his own darkness. Dominique Dunne's life seemed destined for greatness. Born into a creative and influential family, she pursued acting with passion and quickly began building a promising career. Her role in Poltergeist introduced her to a global audience and positioned her as a rising star with a bright future ahead. But her life took a tragic turn due to an abusive relationship that escalated beyond control. Despite attempts to move on and protect herself, her former partner confronted her in a violent encounter that ended in her death in 1982. She was only 22 years old. The case sparked widespread outrage, not only because of the brutality of the crime but also because of the lenient sentence that followed. Dominique's story remains a powerful reminder of the dangers of domestic violence and the importance of recognizing and addressing it before it's too late. Anton Yelchin's talent was undeniable, marked by a depth and authenticity that set him apart from a young age. Born in Russia and raised in the United States, he built an impressive career filled with nuanced performances. His role as Pavel Chekhov in the Star Trek reboot introduced him to a global audience, but it was his work in independent films that truly showcased his range as an actor. In 2016, Anton's life was tragically cut short in a freak accident at his home. After stepping out of his vehicle, it rolled backward, pinning him against a structure. He was only 27 years old. The suddenness of his death left the industry and his fans in shock. Those who knew him spoke of his intelligence, creativity, and kindness, describing him as someone who approached life and art with genuine passion. Cameron Boyce represented a new generation of young stars, talented, charismatic, and deeply aware of the impact they could have beyond entertainment. Known for his roles in Jesse and Descendants, Cameron brought energy and heart to every performance. Off-screen, he was committed to philanthropy, using his platform to support causes like clean water initiatives and social justice. In 2019, Cameron died in his sleep due to a seizure caused by epilepsy, a condition he had been managing privately. He was just 20 years old. His passing led to an outpouring of grief from fans and colleagues alike, many of whom highlighted not just his talent, but his compassion and desire to make a difference. Matthew Garber's time in the spotlight was brief but unforgettable. Best known for his role as Michael Banks in Mary Poppins, he captured hearts with his natural charm and expressive performances. After stepping away from acting, he lived a quieter life, but his legacy remained tied to one of Disney's most beloved films. During a trip to India, he contracted an illness that ultimately led to his death at just 21 years old. Though his career was short, his impact has endured for generations. These stories remind us of something we often forget, that behind the fame, the characters, and the applause are real lives, filled with struggles, dreams, and vulnerabilities. Child actors may seem larger than life, but they are often navigating challenges far beyond their years. Losing them so young is a reminder of how fragile life truly is and how important it is to appreciate the moments we have. Their legacies live on through the work they left behind, the memories they created, and the impact they had on millions of people around the world. They may be gone, but they are far from forgotten.